Hey guys, how's it going? This is Karthik from YFG. I hope you guys are doing great. Now, yesterday, a highly anticipated game which I was eagerly waiting for, Absolver, got released. If you already don't know, Absolver is a third-person fighter game with heavy focus on hand-to-hand combat and dodges. Now you might say you've seen people with swords and war gloves, but they are like a secondary thing and most of the time you'll be playing hand-to-hand. With this description though, it might seem like it is a Souls-like game, and even though I hate that term, Absolver does have the similarities. So in Absolver, you start by selecting your fighting style. You can choose from the 3 starter fighting styles which each have its own special dodge ability, and later on you can unlock the stagger style or the drunken kung fu style, which I am really looking forward to unlocking. So the first is the Karl style, which is a strength heavy style and has the ability absorb. Now these guys just absorb any attack coming from any place, like the vertical, horizontal, left or right, and these guys just absorb it. And now the health they lose is regained when they do the attack successfully themselves. Then there is the Windfall with their avoid skill. Now they move out of the way of the attack, which is very fast by the way. As you can see, I am using the same style. It slows down the opponent, gives you a chance to counter it. Now this is a dexterity heavy style. The last one is Forsaken with the ability to parry attacks, and parry, as you know from many games you have played, does the same thing here as well. Now you can tell that there is strength and dexterity in the game as attributes, but there are more attributes as well. So the level cap is 100 or 60, which I don't know about. So I'll just tell you in the description if it's 100 or 60. And each time you level up, you gain a single point in the attribute section, and you can spend it on strength, dexterity, vitality, endurance, and will. Now strength and dexterity increases the damage done by attacks which require strength and dexterity. Now vitality increases your health pool, endurance increases the stamina pool, and the will increases the shards multiplier to recover the energy on the shard, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Now there is weight, the mobility as an ability attribute, which depends upon the weight of items you are wearing. The combat from outside might feel like For Honor because of how you change position in each quadrant, the diamond-like thing in the lower side of the screen. But the quadrant here plays a very different role from For Honor. Each quadrant has a sequence of attacks and an alternative attack. Starting out, you will only have handful of attacks to your knowledge, which you can see in your combat deck. Once you play the game and defend and dodge against abilities you don't know, these will be added to your combat deck for you to slot them. In the beginning, there are only less slots available. I think that there are only 2 for the first 2 quadrants and the only single for the other quadrants. Alternative attacks will only be 1 in each quadrant, but as you go forward you will be unlocking more slots for your combat deck. Now each attack starts and ends in quadrants, so with clever slotting you can chain attacks and make even longer combos. The attacks you learn do not depend on your fighting style, and you can learn and slot any attack and eventually unlock more fighting styles as well. The attacks are different, like fast ones, slow ones, guard breaks, and things like that, which you will get to know once you play the game even more. And also, you don't have to worry about your starting ability, as you can, the starting fighting style, as you can unlock I think all the fighting styles on a single character. You also have swords and war gloves, as we discussed earlier, which act as an active ability and use shard, the black crystal you see hovering on your back. You start with 2 shards and eventually have 4 So these fill up when you dodge and kill enemies and are used for abilities. You can have abilities like to heal yourself. Then there's the ability which makes the opponent silence so that they cannot use their own shards. And these abilities unlock once you kill the area bosses. So there are 3 main area bosses and like the other mini bosses, which are called the marked ones, I think. So once you kill the main bosses, they'll give you a weapon and an ability. So you cannot have all the weapons and abilities. You have to choose to which ones you want to use. So the gear in the game is called protection, and it includes several slots like mask, shoulder, boots, pants, etc. And usually only changes the blunt and cut damage protection. The gear doesn't change the attributes, so the attributes can only be changed by your levels. So the gear cannot be customized, the color is randomized. The gear is dropped by mobs you kill and can be found in cairns, the replacement for treasure chests in the game. I would not like to spoil the single player though, as it is small and but non-linear, so you don't know where to go. You can go to any place at any given time. You have to defeat all area bosses and the mini bosses to fight the final boss and become an absolver. Even though you can go to any area and do it in any order, they are really hard to defeat and might frustrate you. It's better to gain some levels, abilities and gear first than just go around and defeating these world bosses, you know. In the beginning, it might feel you are button mashing, but the game does punish you for that. You have to be careful and figure out their strategy and combat style to be effective. Even the NPCs will kill you easily. You will die a lot. You can play with your friends, but the highest party limit I think is only 3. Friendly fire is always on though, so be thoughtful of that. You can actually kill your own party member, so don't do that, please. So right now the online multiplayer is restricted to 1v1 best of 3s, but they are going to add 3v3 and spectator mode as well, so we're looking forward to that. And although it is I think it is restricted and it is region locked and P2P, but it worked fine when I tried it. So yeah, you can find the 1v1s from the combat trials when you click on the altar. The seamless multiplayer though works as intended, but is region locked and can make the game lag sometimes. Even though I think if you're in North America and Europe, the servers are better, so you can expect to have a smooth gameplay overall. I had a smooth gameplay and it didn't bother me, so I hope you have the same experience as me. You can choose to go offline mode though if you just want to play single player. The game visually looks really beautiful. The art style is smooth and simplified. Easy on the eyes makes it so that you can see the moves clearly. The sound and music are very basic as well, not hindering the crazy wombo combos you're pulling off. The weight on your attacks, the sound is very thumping and makes you realize that yeah, it did make a mark. Game runs smoothly and should run on any modern machine without hiccups. In the end, Absolver is a beautiful game with a fighting mechanic different from any other. From the outside it looks familiar and simple, but as you get more into it, the complexity ensues. Though the non-linear approach may make people hate the game, the thrill of the crazy combos and unbelievable dodges makes the kung fu hero in them curious to play more and more. I had a lot of fun with my 7.5 hours in the game, and I'm looking forward to play even more and unlock the drunken kung fu style. So in the end guys, I'd like to give Absolver an 8 out of 10 or probably 8.5 out of 10. I just want to see, you know, more areas, more NPCs unlocked, and I think they should be adding more weapons like nunchucks and pole and stuff in the kung fu movies you see, because it is very kung fu and very fighting heavy game. So I would want to see more of that added. I'd like to see more customization options, the character customization options, and little bit of more areas added to the single player. The single player world is, I won't say very small, like it's large, but I would want to see more areas added just because the world is so beautiful and I'd like to see more of these beautiful combination of colors and NPCs added to the game. And from that, I'm going to conclude my review, guys. I'm hoping to see you in the game and fight you. This game is really awesome and I think you should try this game out. It's very cheap and it is beautiful, guys. It's very highly recommended by me. So have a great day, and until then, it's a bye from me.